flights to Washington, D.C. at flyAGS.com. The Live Viper 6 Skyview Network, sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai.
We have sunshine galore all this week with warming temperatures. We'll make it into the mid-80s tomorrow, then a cool down over the weekend along with some rain. All the details on your forecast coming right up.
Right now on News Channel 6 and 4, Augusta leaders getting closer to a deal for ambulance service. We'll have an update for you. Also ahead, improving housing conditions for military families. A hearing on that today. And the waterways could soon be safer in South Carolina. The new rules as Your News at 4 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 4.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Brad Means. Thanks for joining us. Jenny is off today. Happening now, Augusta commissioners about to vote on a contract for ambulance service in the city. They tell News Channel 6 the contract is expected to pass, and here's the deal with it. The city would pay a subsidy of $2.65 million this year. That amount goes up by 3% every year for 5 years. News Channel 6 has a crew at the meeting. We'll have a reaction coming up on News Channel 6 at 6. Also, Augusta commissioners considering a brand new program to reduce the number of cats that are being put down in the city. It's called the Cat Community Program, and it would provide services to capture, neuter, vaccinate, and then release the animals. Best Friends Animal Society, one of the groups pushing for this.
We're going to work with the people who are having issues with the cats to make sure that the cats are able to leave them alone. The majority of the time, the issues they're having with the cats, fighting, yowling, spraying, a lot of that is sexually driven behavior. So when we just sterilize them, a lot of times the issues they're having with cats are resolved just through sterilization. But if sterilization doesn't work, we can follow up with a lot of other tricks and tools that we have to get the cats to stay where they are wanted and stay away from where they're not wanted.
More details on the program coming up for you right here on News Channel 6 at 5. Better housing for those who serve our country. Georgia Senator John Ossoff holding a hearing this morning on the safety of military housing. That includes Fort Gordon. This coming after his visit to the post last week to observe inspections of those homes. A report spearheaded by Ossoff last year showed the contractor in charge of maintaining homes on post did not properly clean or maintain them.
These families are making huge sacrifices. They should not have to sacrifice a safe and healthy home. It's wrong, and it directly undermines morale and military readiness.
The hearing included families who have been impacted and representatives from the Army. Representatives from Balfour Beatty, that contractor at Fort Gordon that's in charge of housing, were invited but did not attend. The Georgia Supreme Court clearing Columbia County's assistant DA of misconduct allegations. A grievance filed last year by the state disciplinary board accused Natalie Payne of violating rules of conduct. It was regarding how she handled a murder case in 2017 when she was Augusta's DA. Well, a special master ruling today that the state failed to prove Payne violated any rules. Payne releasing a statement to News Channel 6. Here it is. It reads in part, "The opinion handed down by the Georgia Supreme Court today affirms my beliefs that they decide cases on the merits rather than politically motivated influences." Another day of blue skies and clear conditions. So nice out there. It's going to stay that way for a few days, Jenna.
Yeah, this is an awesome spring-like week, Brad. It's beautiful outside and some very comfortable spring-like temperatures. Here's our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam over in Augusta. Looking very blue outside, lots of sunshine, 80 degrees in Augusta, upper 70s around much of the CSRA. We're seeing 79 in Thompson and Evans, 80 degrees now in McCormick, Aiken at 78, Louisville at 81, and 76 in Edgefield. So temperatures are a little bit above average today. Dew points are very low. We're seeing the low to mid-30s with high pressure over the area, keeping us nice and dry over the next few days. So winds are a little breezy, 6 miles per hour in Augusta and Waynesboro, 8 in Aiken and Edgefield. Those winds coming in from the west. As for satellite and radar, not seeing any activity across our area. Same for the two-state. High pressure over us with just a minor disturbance out towards the west. All this rain will move down into the Gulf of Mexico, not impacting us. We won't have any of that to worry about until we go into the weekend. As for the rest of this evening, 80 degrees by 5 o'clock, still in the 70s by 7 p.m., upper 60s by 8 p.m. Still chilly tonight, but not as cold as it has been over the past few days. Temperatures are on the rise with rain and storms once again coming in over the weekend, followed by a cool down on Sunday. So coming up, I'll have a look at your 10-day forecast, so stay with us. But back to you, Brad.
All right, Jenna, thanks. The clubhouse at Jones Creek in Columbia County has been sold. Take a look at video from Masters Week when an entertainment golf complex opened up at the clubhouse. That building has now been purchased by the Jones Creek Clubhouse LLC. That building's about 35 years old. It'll now be repaired and restored. The new ownership group hoping to one day reopen the golf course that's been shuttered for the last 5 years. A federal grant means more money for small airports across Georgia. The goal, improve their performance and the impact on the communities they serve. Daniel Field is one of those airports getting the money. Bria Smith, live at Daniel now with a look at the benefits of the grant. Bria?
Yeah, Brad. Well, Daniel Field will get nearly $300,000 over the next 5 years, and that money will go to safety like lighting as well as economic development. The airport's director says that some of those upgrades are long overdue.
We are replacing all of the airfield lighting. The lighting that we have right now is antiquated at best, and we're to the point where we're having issues getting replacement parts like bulbs. So we are whipping all of that out. We're putting new lighting in, LED, the whole power cables, everything.
Airports all across Georgia are getting $3.4 million, and that lighting project is expected to be here at Daniel Field, in Daniel Field. Reporting live at Daniel Field, Bria Smith, WJBF, News Channel 6.
Aiken County now, where public safety is looking into several suspicious fires and they need your help. Investigators say yesterday somebody set fires at the Fermata Club on Whiskey Road, Carolina Bay on Price Avenue, the intersection of Clark and Ligari Roads, Jahasi Road, and Recreation Drive. Investigators say the driver of this vehicle on your screen was seen in the area of one of those fires. They want to talk to that person for questioning. Anybody with information should call Aiken County Department of Public Safety or your local law enforcement agency. North Augusta City Council looking to improve Georgia Avenue. As News Channel 6's Nikita Dennis tells us, it's something the community wants as well.
The efforts to revitalize what many know as the old skating rink in downtown Augusta continues. On Monday, City Council members approved a resolution for the property to be a part of the South Carolina Abandoned Buildings Revitalization Act.
There is a legislative act where a developer can take a state income credit on properties that they are going to develop if the property has been abandoned.
The building has been abandoned for more than 5 years. Now, North Augusta Ford will turn the property into an area with office spaces and restaurants.
That's will become the gateway connection. So the developer is not only going to remodel the existing carpet shop or the old roller rink that people know, the skating rink, they'll be adding 2 additional buildings. So it's going to be, this community, people have been wanting retail, they want restaurants. All of that's going to be in that area.
Construction work for the project started last year. Mayor Williams says this adds on to the revitalization in Riverside Village.
When you're coming into North Augusta, that will be the gateway connection that will tie our downtown revitalization efforts into a Riverside Village. So it's a great game changer for us.
It is not clear when the entire project is going to be finished, but city leaders say most of the renovation is complete. A South Carolina bill focusing on boating safety is up for a vote today in a state campaign on preventing gun violence. Their future, our vote, planning to hold events across the state and the nation to advance its mission. Coming up, scammers are now using your voice against you. Criminals who are basically cloning how you sound and using it for their nefarious purposes. The story.
Local people, local service.
Think before you answer. A warning about a terrifying phone scam involving artificial intelligence. It can clone someone's voice. Caitlin Richards spoke to the Better Business Bureau on the dangers around the scam and what signs you need to watch out for.
With the help of artificial intelligence, scammers make phone calls with some sounding like this.
I'm calling today regarding some legal documents I have here that require your immediate attention. Give me a call back here on my direct line.
A few seconds of talking is all it takes for someone to clone a voice. They do it by pulling audio from social media posts or any accessible audio file that could be easily downloaded on the internet.
Some of the most dangerous voice cloning scams that we see too involve public figures, celebrities, politicians who, there's countless hours of their audio of them speaking out there, and that makes it really easy for scammers to be able to clone that audio.
Hill says it's really difficult to know if your voice has been cloned, but says there are signs to watch out for.
If they're asking for a payment, let alone if they're asking for a payment in a way that's going to be untraceable, unrecoverable, like Venmo, PayPal, wire transfers. So if you hear anybody asking for that on a voicemail, a social media post, then that's going to be a red flag.
All it takes is a couple of seconds for scammers to clone a voice. That's why it's a good idea to avoid voice identification systems. Also, be cautious of who's on the other end of the line, even if they claim to be a relative, friend, or an official asking for documents, help, or money.
If you are even one bit suspicious, if you're going to call from a real friend or a scammer, hang up, all right? The longer you stay on the line with them, the more at risk you are going to be to lose money to a scam.
That was Caitlin Richards reporting. Companies are trying to crack down on identifying voice cloning from real calls. If you think you've been scammed, call law enforcement in your area. You can also reach out to the Better Business Bureau to tell them what happened. Still ahead, the expense of severe weather starting to reach record highs now. Why experts say destructive storms are costing the country in more ways than one.
I'm attorney Jamie Cassini.
Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Today, beautiful Tuesday, lots of sunshine across the entire CSRA. Here's a live look at our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview Cam over in North Augusta. Not a cloud in sight, right at 80 degrees. We have a west-northwest wind of 6 miles per hour. Dew point only at 32 degrees. We have a lot of dry air in place, and this will be the case throughout the next few days as well. Seeing anywhere from those mid-70s through low 80s, a little bit above average today. 77 in Crawfordville, 78 in Washington, Saluda at 75, 78 in Aiken, 80 degrees in Sylvania and Millen. Now for satellite and radar, we're really not seeing any activity, not only for the CSRA, but the entire two-state. Looking beautiful today. There's the high pressure responsible for that. But over to our west, we do have a disturbance bringing some showers and thunderstorms. This will drift down into the Gulf of Mexico and will not impact us. And over the next few days, we're keeping the sunshine around, and we're also having warming temperatures. So we'll continue to see a southerly wind over the next few days, and that's going to bring the mid to even upper 80s, and that begins tomorrow. So 85 degrees by 4 o'clock. 76 at noon, a really warm day. Now, as for those low temperatures, still on the chilly side, 48 degrees tomorrow morning, but a little bit warmer than it has been. But take a look at next week. We are still going to see some upper 30s as we go into next Monday. High temperatures are going to be in the mid-80s over the next few days. Then we'll drop down to 78 on Saturday and upper 60s on Sunday. So we still have a big variety of temperatures that we've been seeing over the past few days, and it's expected to be below average all of next week as well for the entire southeast. So if you don't like the 80s, if you'd rather have some cooler temperatures, that's good news for you. Now for our comfort meter, we have dew points a little bit higher as we go into each day this week as we have more moisture moving in, but still keeping the sunshine until we go into Saturday. That's when we have a 50% chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms. Once the cold front passes on Sunday, we'll quickly return to sunshine with the cooler temperatures. So here's a look at our long-range futurecast. 6 a.m. on Friday, we'll keep it just clear skies, a few clouds moving in. Then by the late morning into early afternoon on Saturday, we'll begin to see some rain. Things become a little bit more intense as we go into later on Saturday afternoon. Could be watching for the possibility of some strong storms, and we'll keep you updated as we get closer to the date. But notice by Sunday, back to sunshine, and then we'll have that northerly wind coming in, bringing in the cooler air. Now for tonight, upper 40s, still chilly, but then nice and warm tomorrow, climbing to 86 degrees in Augusta. And over the next 10 days, we're also seeing 86 on Thursday, keeping it nice and sunny all the way through Friday. Then next week, it'll be pretty sunny as well, but cooler, 69 on Sunday, 70 degrees on Monday. Then we'll have another chance of rain by the middle of next week.
All right, Jenna, thanks a lot. Boy, what a scene in Fort Lauderdale last week. More than 2 feet of rain falling in just about 2 or 3 hours. Homes flooded, the airport flooded. It was horrible down that Question is, are weather disasters like that happening more frequently? Here's Gerald Wjbf.
Is weather getting worse, or does it just seem that way? While there has been no shortage of extreme weather, let's just compare the last 20 years. To start, 10 of the top 15 most active hurricane seasons ever recorded happened in just the last 2 decades. And there has been a big increase in billion-dollar weather disasters. From 2001 to 2021, there were 38 tropical cyclone events costing over $1 billion. That's double from 20 years prior. Cumulative losses totaled over $300 billion in just Texas and Florida. And in just the last 2 decades, we saw nearly 6 times the number of billion-dollar disasters from severe thunderstorms, from 25 in 1980 to 2000, soaring to 131 events since 2001. The cost? An annual average shot up from $2.5 billion to over $15 billion when price adjusted. One scientific study from the American Meteorological Society says supercell thunderstorms that produce the most violent tornadoes and massive hail will become more frequent over the next 75 years. And other studies from the Nature Partner Journal and some NOAA scientists have shown a shift to the east in the number of tornadoes in the last 40 years. Trending away from the classic tornado alley states in the plains into poorer, more vulnerable states in the deep south like Mississippi and Arkansas. Rural populations there are much higher. They have the highest concentration of mobile homes per capita and fewer storm shelters, leading to more tragic and deadly outcomes.
Accidents happen.